History doesn't need dusty tomes to be bizarre. The 20th and 21st centuries have delivered events so wild they sound like they were cooked up in a screenwriter's fever dream. From syrup heists to runaway balloons, here are 10 real historical events from after 1900 that seem utterly fake, counted down from 10 to 1. Each is a testament to the absurdity of modern times, packed with details to make you laugh, gasp, or just scratch your head. 10. The Great Canadian Maple Syrup Heist, 2011-2012. Imagine a heist movie where the loot is maple syrup. Between 2011 and 2012, thieves in Quebec, Canada, stole 3,000 tons of syrup, worth $18.70 million, from the Federation of Quebec Maple Syrup Producers Strategic Reserve. This wasn't a smash and grab. The culprits siphoned syrup from barrels in a remote facility, replacing it with water to avoid detection. The scheme unraveled when inspectors noticed watery syrup, leading to 26 arrests, including ringleader Richard Valliers, who was sentenced to 7 years in 2017. The heist sounds like a quirky caper, but it hit Canada's syrup industry hard, exposing vulnerabilities in their liquid gold stockpile. 9. The 1904 Olympic Marathon Disaster, 1904. The 1904 St. Louis Olympic Marathon was chaos incarnate. Only 14 of 32 runners finished, thanks to a single water station deliberately limited to study dehydration's effects. Runners faced dusty roads, wild dogs, and extreme heat. Fred Loris won, but was disqualified for hitching a ride in a car for 11 miles. Claiming it was a joke, the real winner, Thomas Hicks, was doped with strychnine brandy and egg whites by his trainers, hallucinating and collapsing across the finish line. Another runner, Felix Carvajal, stopped to eat apples, got cramps, and still finished fourth. This marathon sounds like a slapstick comedy, but it was a real Olympic fiasco. 8. The Four Seasons Total Landscaping Press Conference, 2020. On November 7, 2020, days after the U.S. presidential election, Rudy Giuliani held a press conference for the Trump campaign in Philadelphia, not at the luxurious Four Seasons Hotel, but at Four Seasons Total Landscaping, a suburban strip mall next to an adult bookstore and a crematorium. Booked by mistake, the event became a surreal spectacle, with Giuliani addressing a small crowd in a parking lot, claiming election fraud as bemused landscapers looked on. The internet erupted in memes, and the Washington Post called it the most bizarre news conference in political history. It sounds like a Veep episode, but it was real. 7. The Balloon Boy Hoax, 2009. On October 15, 2009, the world watched as a silver, saucer-shaped balloon floated over Colorado, supposedly carrying 6-year-old Falcon Heen. His parents, Richard and Mayumi Heen, claimed he'd climbed into their homemade weather balloon before it launched. A frantic rescue operation ensued, with helicopters and ground crews tracking the balloon for 50 miles. When it landed, Falcon was nowhere inside. He was hiding in his attic. The hoax was a publicity stunt for a reality TV pitch, and the Heens were later convicted of filing false reports, paying $36,000 in restitution. This sky-high drama sounds like a bad reality show script, but it gripped millions. 6. The Great Molasses Flood, 1919. On January 15, 1919, Boston's North End turned into a sticky death trap. A 2.3 million-gallon molasses tank burst. A 25-foot wave of syrup roared through streets at 35 miles per hour, killing 21 people, injuring 150, and toppling buildings. Shoddy construction and warm weather fermenting the molasses caused the tank to explode. Rescuers waded through knee-deep goo, and cleanup took weeks. For years, locals claimed the harbor smelled sweet in summer. This sugary tsunami sounds like a cloudy with a chance of meatballs scene, but it was a deadly industrial tragedy. 5. The Exploding Whale of Oregon, 1970. In November 1970, Oregon officials faced a beached 8-ton whale near Florence. Their solution? Detonate it with half a ton of dynamite to scatter the remains for seagulls. Instead, the explosion launched blubber chunks the size of suitcases hundreds of feet, crushing a car and raining gore on spectators. The stench lingered for weeks, and the remaining carcass had to be cleared manually. Reporter Paul Lindman's bemused news clip, now a viral sensation, captures the absurdity. Blowing up a whale sounds like a prank gone wrong, but it was a real coastal catastrophe. 4. The Tunguska Event, 1908. On June 30th, 1908, a massive explosion flattened 830 square miles of Siberian forest near the Tunguska River, felling 80 million trees. The blast, 10-15 megatons of TNT, was 1,000 times stronger than the Hiroshima bomb. Witnesses saw a fireball and felt heat 40 miles away, with shockwaves knocking people down. No crater was found, suggesting a meteor or comet exploded midair. The remote location meant no human deaths, but theories of aliens or black holes swirled for decades. This cosmic boom sounds like sci-fi, but it's Earth's largest recorded impact event. 3. The Great Emu War, 1932. In 1932, Australia waged war against emus. After World War I, farmers in Western Australia faced 20,000 emus trampling crops. The government sent soldiers with machine guns, led by Major GPW Meredith, to cull them. The emus, however, were too fast and scattered, dodging bullets with ease. After a week, 2,500 rounds killed fewer than 1,000 birds, and the war ended in defeat. Farmers built fences instead, and newspapers mocked the military's loss to flightless birds. It sounds like a Looney Tunes plot, but it was a real Australian debacle. 2. The Acoustic Kitty Project in the 1960s. In the 1960s, the CIA spent $20 million turning a cat into a spy. The Acoustic Kitty Project involved surgically implanting a microphone in a cat's ear, a transmitter in its skull, and an antenna in its tail to eavesdrop on Soviet conversations. After years of training, the cat was released near a Soviet embassy in Washington, D.C., and promptly hit by a taxi. Declassified in 2001, the project was deemed a failure, with memos noting cats' unpredictable nature. A spy cat sounds like a James Bond parody, but it was a real Cold War misadventure. 1. The Fake Paris of World War I, 1917-1918. During World War I, the French built a decoy Paris to fool German pilots. Fearing aerial bombings, they constructed a fake city miles from the real one, complete with a replica Champs-Élysées, Gare du Nord, and dimmed lights to mimic a poorly hidden Paris. Wooden buildings, painted facades, and electric lights created the illusion. The plan worked. German bombers targeted the decoy, sparing the real city. Construction stopped when the war then ended in 1918, but a 1920 article revealed the ruse. A fake Paris sounds like wartime fanfiction, but it was a brilliant deception. Why these events stick with us? From syrup-soaked heist to a cat-turned-spy, these 20th and 21st century events prove history doesn't need to be ancient to be unbelievable. They highlight human ingenuity, folly, and the sheer randomness of life, whether it's battling emus or building a decoy city. These stories aren't just quirks. They show how people and governments navigate crises, often with hilariously disastrous results. Next time you hear a tale that sounds too wild, don't dismiss it. History loves to outdo fiction. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe to this channel for more content. Thank you.